Hello everyone, it's Robin Valentine with another movie review. I know it has been a minute since I've recorded a movie review video, not to sound repetitive. I've been feeling inspired. Five Nights at Freddy's just released in theaters. And I actually watched it on Thursday, but because I've been feeling very lazy and tired, I am just now making the video and hopefully posting it on a Sunday. So 3 days after I watched it. All I know is I need to get this review up before the movie's no longer relevant and no one cares anymore. So I am not a big Five Nights at Freddy's aficionado, but I did follow the game when it first launched. And I've kind of kept up with the lore since through Matt Pat's videos discussing the many different theories. I was actually really excited to watch this in theaters to see the world fleshed out and see it on a big stage, or big production, I should say. I want to be transparent in saying that I'm a little biased just because there is that part of me that is a fan of the mainstay series, and it does hold a special place in my heart. I'm going to put a timestamp in the description if you want to hear just the review, but right now I'm going to talk a little about the movie, which is going to include spoilers and my thoughts on the various things I saw. And before I oh, hold on one second, let me get that. Hello? Okay, I'll tell them. The person who just called wanted me to inform you all that if you would like to support my channel or support me as a content creator or show producer, artist, all of those things, I'm going to include my Venmo and CashApp in the description, but I'll also put it down here in editing. Okay. Oh, okay. I told him. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Joe Biden. Oh, he goes on and on, I swear. Anyways, so now we're going to discuss the movie. It opens with a security guard basically being chased down, and next thing you know, he's being forced into what I remember is Freddy's bear suit. It's a very exciting opening. However, I personally don't like it when horror movies start off that big. So the main character, Mike, is working as a security guard at a mall, and he believes he's witnessing an abduction of a child. So he goes and tackles the man in the water fountain of the mall, only for it to turn out, no, this was just a dad and son with a little turbulence. He was not abducting a fussy child, that was his child, and our main character has just assaulted him and is now without a job, which is what leads him to becoming a security guard at Five Nights at Freddy's. Not Five Nights at Freddy's, that's the name of the game. What I find a little interesting in the movie is that the job counselor, I don't know the official title of this person. He is like, oh, there's nothing I can do for you. I can't find you anything. And then he looks at the file, and I believe he even begins to say, oh, wait a minute, you're Mike. Actually, I have a job for you. Granted, I saw this on Thursday, so some of my details are a little bit fuzzy, but I'm kind of like, wait a minute, why did this gentleman not want to help him? And then he sees the name and he does want to help him. I feel as though that could have been fleshed out better. But our main character is like, hey, I can't do this job. It's nights. I can't do nights. He ends up with a custody battle, essentially, with his, I believe, aunt. And he's like, you know what, on second thought, I do need this job because I need to prove that I am a good guardian, whereas the aunt just wants his younger sister, whom he's taking care of, just for the monthly checks from the government, I believe. Well, we find out that he has this reoccurring nightmare where he's at a picnic with his family and his younger brother gets abducted. And this takes place in, I believe it was Arkansas. And he always is reliving the dream. He's using sleeping pills to relive it as vividly as possible. And he keeps trying to figure out who was it that took his younger brother on that fateful day. He goes ahead, gets the job at Five Nights at Freddy's. And just a little side tangent, it is so cool to see Freddy Fazbear's fleshed out in the real world. I was fangirling a little, like, oh my god, look at the neon, look, it's an actual building. It does show you the characters in a way that I feel as though kind of took some of that anticipation away. I would have preferred a little less view of them towards later on, so their presence could have been bigger. So to kind of see them early on, it just made it less exciting for me. And he is doing the security job and quickly realizes I'm having even more vivid dreams of that a day my brother got abducted when I fall asleep here. So he wants to explore that because he's trying to figure out, why am I so much more connected with this event being here? Well, it turns out that the aunt who's trying to get custody of his little sister is actually in cahoots with the babysitter, and she tells them he is working as a security guard to sink his chances of keeping my niece. I want you all to break into Freddy's, and we're going to pin it on him. Like, hey, he didn't do a good job as security and the place has now been destroyed. She tells them, I'm going to pay you. So it is the babysitter, her, I believe, boyfriend, and another friend. They go in there, start messing everything up, and guess what? The animatronics, they say, you are not going to ruin our little humble abode. And what do? They go and they get them. They get them. I don't want to say what actually happens because monetization or future monetization, because I'm not monetized yet. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. But then the girl, the babysitter, she's like, okay, I was in the vehicle. You guys have not returned. What's happening? And she also ends up getting finished. It's really wild to see. It was, I think, all of the animatronics come to life, including the cupcake that Chica uses, and they just attack these people. There is a cop. I should have mentioned that earlier. I believe her name is Vanessa, and she introduces herself to Mike early on. I don't like their dynamic because it is very apparent early on that this is supposed to be a love interest, and I don't find it necessary. In fact, I find her character very cryptic and unnecessary. So she's like this character, I know the ropes, stick with me, kid. Just not really telling Mike what's going on. And she is constantly going through Freddy's. She tells him, well, I love this place growing up as a kid, and I'm just keeping an eye on it. And that story slowly unravels as the movie goes on. We find out, and this is the progression of her story. Oh, well, I'm just keeping an eye on you because cops disappear. Did you not know about the children who disappeared? Why this place actually closed? Then it also turns into, well, these animatronics are occupied by the souls of missing children, so I am keeping them company because they're these little children stuck in these animatronics all alone, just themselves. Nobody's taking care of them. And then it turns out, oh, actually, my dad is Springtrap, and I've been helping coerce security guards into the building so they can, you know. Editing Robin here. I just wanted to clarify. So it was Springtrap, who is William Afton, Vanessa's dad. He said in the movie, you were supposed to keep them in the dark. I initially thought this meant coerce the security guards into working and, but I think it was literally just keep them dumb, numb to what we're doing. Eventually, we're going to get them too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. Anyways, just wanted to clarify. And also, Springtrap is not an animatronic. It is her father who is operating an animatronic, which was just a very messy detail in the storyline for me. I didn't like her character, and I did not like what she was supposed to be for the story. With the babysitter out of the picture, Mike brings his little sister to the Freddy Fazbear's, and quickly the animatronics take a strong liking to her. And this is the point in the movie where Mike's like, oh, these are real. These are children in the animatronics, their souls. And he's just kind of like, I guess this is happening, which I didn't really love. I wish we could have put a better reaction for him as to how he felt about the animatronics being living. I don't know. It was a bit, his reaction was underwhelming and unrealistic in my opinion. When he has the nightmare again of his brother being abducted, the animatronics, the children who possess them, they start being integrated in the dream. And whenever he tries to reach out to them, he's like, hey, what do you know? Did you see the person who took my brother? They just run away. In the dream, he ends up getting a hold of Foxy, who, when the little boy turns around, slices him with the hook. And that's when he wakes up in real time to realize that the Foxy animatronic has actually just gashed his arm, which is a nod to the game. He's got the breaker he can control to turn off the power. The animatronics trying to get into the security room. I like that they didn't rely too heavily on that trope. It was referenced, that gameplay in the movie. I thought it was nice that they weren't relying solely on the game to develop the story around. Later on, when he has the dream with the children, they actually approach him and say, we can make this a reality where you are back with your entire family. You just have to give us your little sister. And at first, our main character says, I will, you can have her. And then he immediately says, no, actually, I do not want to give her to you all. And in the dream, they are just attacking him nonstop, only for it to turn out that in real life, the animatronics have just torn him up to the point where he was almost... The animatronics actually go to the house because the aunt is there. He has agreed to give her custody, and they take her out and they bring the little sister back to Freddy's. And I was thinking that they wanted her as like a playmate, but it turns out that Springtrap is actually controlling them because apparently he has influence over them. They can't seem to remember what he did to them to lead them to the situation they're in, possessing animatronics. So they just willingly bring him this little girl. And that's when we get our first look at Springtrap. Mike is there to save his little sister. And I really liked this part. Not seeing Springtrap beforehand made his presence shocking and big. And it was wild because they were trying to put her into an animatronic that was spring loaded, so it would have taken her when she got put into it. And I'm kind of curious, like, did Springtrap want her as another soul? Did he just not want her around, torture, all that stuff? The motivation to me was a little all over the place, but it turns out that the person who abducted Mike's brother was Springtrap, Vanessa, the police officer's dad, who is still living. And I hated that reveal. You know what could have been really awesome is if in the dream he catches up to the child that turns out to be his brother, and that's the reveal, or whichever animatronic is possessed by his brother, because it is never specified, or at least not that I can remember. Maybe he finds out that way, like he looks into the animatronic's eyes and sees his brother. I don't know. But Vanessa holds off her dad. Mike gets the sister away from the animatronics, and his sister has the bright idea, hey, what if I put a drawing on the wall of what Springtrap did to them, and magically, movie logic, by having that image on the wall of Freddy Fazbear's, suddenly they remember Springtrap, he is the reason we are like this. For whatever reason, they couldn't remember what he did to them before, but this one drawing on the wall is all they need to remember. I hate that. I really do. And they get out of there. The little sister is flourishing now. She is, I guess, traumatized in the best way possible. And I believe that is the end of the film. I do know I missed the credits, but I wanted to beat the crowd out of the movie theater. So here are my thoughts. If you are a fan of Freddy Fazbear, Five Nights at Freddy's, it is definite fan service, and I think you will appreciate it for that. But if you are a casual movie fan, horror movie fan, whatever, you probably won't like it because it is full of cliches, jump scares, loud noises, and very simplified cliche plots. So would I recommend it? I'm going to say it depends on the person. I think it's a fun movie, but I don't think it's a good movie. So to each their own, but I do think there's some entertainment value, even if you don't necessarily like cliche movies. I mean, come on, let's think about some of the most popular movies, like The Nun. Let's not pretend like The Nun is good, but was it entertaining? A little, yeah, kind of. People went and watched that. So maybe you'll like Five Nights at Freddy's. If anything, it's just cool to see the video game brought to life in the real world. So thank you all so much for watching this video, for supporting me. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. And before I again, hello? Yes, I was just getting to that. Can you please give me a moment? Okay. Thank you, RuPaul. Do not forget, if you can and would like to, I have my Cash App and Venmo in the description of this video. It really goes a long way to help support me. Hopefully, I can get better lighting, an actual camera instead of my phone, and it helps me buy makeup and costumes so I can continue looking fabulous when I do these videos. I had no idea what I was going to wear. I pulled out my clown costume. Let me show y'all. I was at a Halloween party earlier, pulled out my clown costume, and I thought, oh look, it's like I'm Balloon Boy. And Freddy Fazbear's is child entertainment anyway, so a clown is perfect. Because I like to theme my looks around the movies I'm reviewing. So please help me if you can. And thank you for watching. Take care.